So let's go to the desert. But which one? I went to the Mojave because that's where people from LA, in trouble with the law, their lovers, their creditors, themselves, go hide out, lick their wounds, end the affair, bury the body. I was supposed to be finishing a book. I had completed the research, as writers like to say to editors when they cross the deadline. I had just enough money in the bank to put down first and last month's rent on a house down the road from my friends in 29 Palms, a small town sandwiched between the iconic vistas of Joshua Tree National Park and the Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center, the largest training facility in the U.S., whose sand dunes had served as a simulacrum of the Middle Eastern desert for the first war in Iraq and would again for the second.
Why are all the wives and kids alone? Why are all the wives and kids alone? See them shopping at the mall. Where are their husbands so strong and tall? Do they wonder when their daddy's coming home? What are all those helicopters for? What are all those helicopters for? I feel them overhead when I'm lying in my bed. Must be that they're flying off to war.
I switched the radio dial to KWXY as the freeway bows south and then crests in a sea of towering, spinning white windmills. The car fills with the sound of lush strings, gentle voices, and tickled piano. Maybe Jackie Gleason visiting Shangri-La, the Norman Luboff Choir cooing tenderly, Ray Conniff watching the fall of autumn leaves. And all I can see is what suddenly surrounds me, the vast caked brown expanse of the desert. The eyes water, the heart aches, and I have to pull the car over. It's as if, to borrow the words of one of the Sublime's great advocates, Friedrich Nietzsche, I have put my ear to the heart chamber of the world will and felt the roaring desire for existence gushing forth into all the veins of the world as a thundering current or as the gentlest brook dissolving into a mist. How could I too not fail to break suddenly? It might not be a Wagner opera or a recital of 18th century instrumental music. It might just be the purring vanilla swing of the Ray Charles singers. But this is my sublime, my desert sublime.
Life can be dreary, but never the same. Some days it's sunshine, some days it's rain. So swing, little girl, swing high, and don't ever look to the ground. If you're looking for rainbows, come to the sky. Never look down.
Palestine, New Mexico. And the white female army captain, still in fatigues, demanded to know why everybody was heavily armed. And the man from the res replied, because this ain't fucking Burning Man. This area is known as the El Paso Corridor. And your narco-traficantes, the Mexican cartels like to run their hair on.
crystal meth and weapons and humans right through the mesa, yonder, there. Armed coyotes smuggle the wets through the Rio Grande less than a mile away. Damn good reasons to be armed, she said.
A esta mulata de Panamá, los caminos la llevaron hasta Wichita. Llegó sola, ahí gozó su primer amor. También sufrió su primer dolor cuando la dejó por otra. Cogió el camión sin saber el rumbo para salvarse de ese tipo.
War is on its way. The walls of our house shake every time they try a new bomb in the desert. Military tanks go up and down Highway 62, and Indian land is once again used as training combat territory, but the rocks stand still. I dream of sleeping peacefully. I dream of sleeping peacefully. I dream of sleeping peacefully, but it's just a dream.
It was the lead story in the Rio Grande Sun.
The death of a 2-year-old Variedades child is the subject of an ongoing investigation being conducted by the Rio Arriba County Sheriff's Department. According to Deputy Freddy Trujillo, an ambulance met up with the parents of the little boy, Dion Martínez, on State Road 68 as they rushed into the hospital May 8.
A few months later, the toxicology report reveals that in Dion's body there was ibuprofen, caffeine, alcohol, and cocaine. It sounded like Rose and Jose were desperately treating Dion in the hours before his death. It sounded like there were drugs all over the house, legal and illegal. It sounded like a terrible mistake had been made, a small ball of cocaine mistaken for a teething tablet, perhaps.
All of which made Rose and Jose look monstrous and pathetic. But judging them absolves us of our responsibility.
We lived next door to this family, and while we were troubled by what we saw through the attic window, we weren't sure whether it was our place to intervene.
On our next trip to New Mexico, we visit the cemetery in our old village. We go to Dion's grave.
Burials are still conducted the way they were generations ago, a mound of dirt marking the spot. Dion's is completely covered with toys.
Teddy bears and matchbox cars.
Cowboys and Indian figurines, little blonde angels, superheroes.
Dozens of Jesuses and virgins and crosses and pinwheels that spin in the breeze.
We read one of the many handwritten notes Rose, the neighbor to whom we rarely spoke, had placed there.
Among her promises to her son was this:
I will be joining you soon.
Bodies in the desert, dry bones and moaning dust, reports of more than before in the land of boom and bust. Maybe as far back in time as our eyes have cried, these are the bones that rose before to cross the other side. The journey to the promise is the answer to the call, crossing every border, every barrier and wall. Every few hundred years or so, the walls do crumble down. These bones that rose the time before once more will come around. like Ezekiel of old, as the oracle foretold. All my people will come home from the valley of dry bones, from the valley of dry bones.
A desert monastic grammar. Anacharesis, the irresistible allure of empty places, the need for emptiness. Ascesis, the harrowing purification, the undoing of the self you will undergo in that emptiness, a kind of baptism. Agape, the unexpected tenderness of heart, born of solitude, silence, suffering, a deepened capacity to see, feel, and stand with the other.
God is good. It is a beautiful night. The man is reading by the moonlight. The front door is just a board, and the rose is rotted. The man is a celestial model. What is